What is the main concern for you on defense other than the tackling? Is it still getting to the quarterback consistently?
Yeah, finishing plays. Like I said, we got pressure on Frank Harris. His escapability was phenomenal. I'll give him that. But there's a few times that we got back there that we should have had him, but we didn't finish, didn't wrap up, didn't just finish the play.
Yeah. Who do you look to on defense as someone that you think can break out in conference play and start to create like a pass rush or big play turnover ability for this defense? Because I think we're going to have to do one or the other. If you can't get to the cornerback, then someone in the secondary is just going to have to start making ball type plays. You have to do one or the other. I just don't see. I think the ball hawking is something that can happen more honestly than getting to the quarterback. Because if you don't have a guy that can just get there down after down, it's kind of hard to see that progress throughout the season. I feel like that takes a couple years, and you may not even have that guy on the roster this year.
I have to say Sorrell, or with the blitz package with the guy that had the most ridiculous targeting penalty that I've seen this year, DeMario Overshown. Bringing him in on a blitz, you've seen, the few times that he did get sent on a blitz, he was in there creating havoc. And the one sack that, of course, got called targeting when they went face mask to face mask, he did not use the crown of his helmet. He did not launch head down. They hit face mask to face mask, and they called it targeting. So.
Yeah. I mean, I've lost my faith in officials, so I'm not really surprised that they called that, but it is what it is. Obviously, it sucks, but we still get the W, and I would agree with you. I think Barron Sorrell's the one guy for me that if we're going to have a pass rush, that's where it's going to come from. I could also see Byron Murphy consistently from the interior, probably generating a little bit of a pass rush, but those are really the only two guys on defense that I could see doing it on a somewhat consistent basis. I think someone like an Anthony Cook is going to have to step up and start creating forced fumbles, turnovers, stuff like that. And then also, I love when we bring the corner blitzes. I think if we do that at the right times, like we did in the Alabama game, especially if you do it on the blind side of the quarterback, you can force turnovers that way. So I think those are some ways we can generate turnovers and pressure. What do you think of this upcoming Texas Tech game? Are you worried? What are your concerns? Stuff like that.
Like I said, I think they're going to look back on this film and they're going to see the comeback route that they got. They're going to see the little hitch routes. They did a very good job scheming in this game. When we did bring the pressure off the corner, the hot routes, the receiver being able to sit there and be in sync with the quarterback. Just the Franklin catch when we brought pressure off the edge from the nickel, they're just flipping it out there in the face of the pressure. They're back. They do film study just like we do film study, and I think they're going to see things like that, and they're going to try to exploit it.
Yeah, and I mean, Texas Tech just lost today to I think a decent North Carolina State team, 27-14. I don't know. I'm just looking at the box score. Did Donovan Smith get benched in that game, or did he get hurt?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was looking. I'm looking at his stats. He went 21 of 36, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Then the backup Morton went 4 for 7 with 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. So I'm not sure if he got hurt or he just played bad and was pulled. But that bodes well because I think our defense, it's probably not as good as North Carolina State's because North Carolina State does have a pretty good defense, but I think we're close enough to where we can probably give them some of the same issues, especially, no offense, but if you're only throwing for 214 yards on 36 attempts, 5.9 yards average, that's not very good as a quarterback. And if he's your starter, that's not very good, like I said. But again, if he's hurt, then we're playing with the third string quarterback versus them. I feel very confident going into that game. And we may be getting some lucky breaks that we didn't get last year. That's the thing. Last year, we were the team that was hurt, and we would always self-implode in the second half. So maybe we'll catch some breaks this year, hopefully.
Yeah. We have injuries in certain positions. It was good to see Deshaun Jameson out there. Of course, he had a couple of key breakups in the defensive backfield. But, our secondary has stayed pretty healthy. Our linebacking core, defensively, we've stayed pretty healthy. Offensively, did you see Cole Hudson came back in the game?
Yeah, after one play.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure. I wasn't paying attention. After he had went out, I wasn't paying attention to too much. My main focus is on our left tackle, and he had himself a game as well. And this offensive line, I want to see more improvement. And like I said, I'll repeat myself for probably the third or fourth time. This, consistency in the run game. We have the hogs up front to do so, and Jake Majors and his snap infractions. That's 2 in 2 games.
Yeah,
you can't double pump that snap, and then point at the defensive tackle like he jumped off sides. It's just.
Yeah, that's the second one he's had this year, and we talked about that. Like in my opinion, you got 1 a year as a junior, like the max. He's already over that, so he needs to stop with that. It's enough. And there's no excuse, because if you look at the guys around him, Kelvin Banks is probably our best offensive lineman as a true freshman. So I don't really see why you're making all these mistakes. And then also Cole Hudson has been very good as well. So our offensive line is ahead of what all us Texas fans thought. I thought we were going to be pretty good this year, but I didn't think we were going to be as good as we are. I thought at best we're talking about close to average, but if we got to average, then I was thinking Big 12 championship. And I would say our offensive line is an average offensive line. So we've got everything we need other than the quarterback. I really want to see a full game with the full playbook being run for Quinn Ewers. Like, you didn't see that versus Louisiana Monroe. It's very vanilla. And then Alabama, you see it, but you only see it for a quarter, and he was great, but it was only a quarter. And then we don't see it tonight because you have Hudson Card at quarterback. So we really don't know what we have 3 games in, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't want to play survival mode until Quinn gets back.
Yeah,
I want full on. If Hudson's going to be the second string guy, he needs to be prepared fully in the playbook to get our playmakers open, because we have playmakers all over the field. Xavier Worthy, there's no reason he should only have 41 receiving yards in a game. Jordan Whittington, 40-something. Jatavian Sanders, 1 catch for 5 yards. These guys should have, 70, 80 yards apiece in this offense, like we've seen Sark do in other offenses. I don't want to play survival mode until Quinn gets back. That is a ridiculous way to play, and that's a way to get yourself beat.
Yeah, it's a recipe to get yourself beat if you're just sitting back and waiting for good things to happen to you instead of going out and making good things happen for yourself, which I think we kind of did in the first half. Like I said, I think it was that combined with a lack of just all-out intensity. Like, we were not intense in the first half whatsoever. We came out with a little bit more in the second half and imposed our will and ended up winning. But I would agree with you. I think we need to be more aggressive. I would like to see more up-tempo offense with Hudson Card. And if he's able to just add more to the running game, I know Steve Sarkisian doesn't really like to do it, but he can run. So use that to your advantage and let him run read options at some points in the game. I'm not asking for a lot. Run 6 to 8 of those plays a game to keep the defense honest, and that's all I'm asking for. And I would agree. DMS 1983's left another comment. Should be an easy win next week, but I don't trust to make anything easy. I would agree it should be, but hypothetically it should be. But we have not seen that with this Texas team going forward. Tonight, like I said, was a step in the right direction because you saw them at halftime of a close game versus a team they should beat. They beat them. They got out ahead of them in the second half and beat them by 21 points. So I was fine with that. But my issue is coming out and being engaged in games, because the issue is if you're this another thing, and this could happen going forward, if we get into a game and we don't have that intensity and we go down 24-0 or something like that, then what happens? Like, do we just quit? What happens there?
Yeah, you have to open it up, man. You just playing scared not to lose, it will get you beat when it comes to Big 12 competition. I'm not saying that Texas Tech is that team to do it. I'm not saying West Virginia is that team to do it either. But, the offense needs to gel together, be in the consistent playbook. I know you can't do the same things that you do with Quinn Ewers with Hudson Card. I understand that fully. He doesn't have the arm that Quinn Ewers has. He can't fit it in those tight windows. He just doesn't have the same kind of arm talent. So what I'm coming from is, if Quinn comes back from the Oklahoma game, comes back for the Oklahoma game, are we going to completely switch the offense over then? That doesn't bode well when it comes to continuity and, consistent play.
No. And that's the thing too. Like, if he comes back, I don't expect him to be sharp right away either. That's why, like, dream scenarios, he comes back for the West Virginia game. We struggle through that. Which would most likely happen if he came back for his first game, and we get the win, and then he takes off again in Oklahoma, because I don't see him coming into the Oklahoma game and just picking up right where he left off. Personally, I just don't see that happening. I think it'll take him a game, maybe even two, to get back to where he was in the Alabama game. Especially, like, if he's in there and he's not 100% confident in that injured shoulder or injured clavicle, like, I just mentally, you can say you're fine and everything, but you're gonna compensate, and there's probably gonna be things in your mechanics that you're gonna mess up with. And then also, if he lands on it, you never know what happens from there. So hopefully he gets healthy. And guys, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please help build that brand of Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.